The pursuit of truth and honesty will lose your friends. It will lose your loved ones. And arriving at your own conclusions and articulating those will leave you finding yourself in a place, a cold, dark place, wherein you really don't know who your friends are or who your allies are. And oftentimes you'll find that your friends and allies are some very different other people than what you would have expected. But if you find a few, then that's a good thing. And I'm talking all of this out because as we live streamed for a good 4 hours earlier, myself and a fellow YouTuber, some person decided that they and I were no longer friends because of things that I post on social media, things that I share, things that I contemplate and talk about. And I make no excuses for that. I share a whole lot of things that I don't agree with as much as things that I do agree with. And I also share things that make me think, contemplate, just make me go, okay, so this is happening over at that place in the world. Why? Why is that? Why does this exist in nature? And I don't even always caption it. Sometimes I do. Sometimes it's a very provocative caption, and sometimes it's just a few thoughts. But at any rate, I'm someone who's lost a lot of friends and a lot of people out of his life. Many to death, but also many who just simply decided to exit my life for one reason or another, be it differences, be it thoughts and opinions, or something else. You know what? We can't always tell, and we can't always speak for other people. Now, I have a lot of people all over my social medias whom I don't really know, whom I just conversed with a few times, and some I keep around because we really differ in views and we fight all the time. And that's good. It's productive. They teach me a lot. So for them to actually have the views and beliefs they have and still put up with sticking around, that is something I cherish and appreciate. And often I try my best and tell them that. Wish the best for their safety and well-being and that of their families, and remind them that I do care for their safety and well-being and their families and friends, in spite of our disagreements. That is who I am. But you know, it's one thing when people who know you less decide to take a hike for some reason or another. It's very different when it's people with whom you've shared good times, bad times, laughs, work, built a history, broken bread with, if you will. People who, whom you've loved and cared for and supported, admired. It's just something about that when people, for some reason or another, are willing to just overlook all of that history and just believe that about you, that as you built that entire history together, that deep down you held some kind of vicious rooted hatred for all of who they are or some of who they are, and you carried that inside of you, masking it completely off and coming off as someone who wore their heart and their soul inside out to them. They would rather believe that you were deep down a viciously evil, hateful person who wished nothing good for them, rather than accept to have their own views and values and beliefs challenged. That maybe it isn't hatred, but maybe it is a challenge to views or beliefs or perspectives, or a provocation to actually have a conversation, because there's no conversation going to take place in this world from here on out of those that need to take place, that is going to be pleasant for anyone. The days of pleasant conversations making the world a better place are over. Every productive conversation from here on out that is actually going to matter to humanity, to this world, to our social issues, everything else under the sun. All these conversations are going to be very unpleasant, very ugly, very vicious, verbose, harsh words, harsh ideas, harsh thoughts, a lot of deep emotions because, quite frankly, we're in a place where there's no chance that people are not going to be enraged or impassioned or whatnot about their side of things. But that's what it's going to have to take. There's no escaping that. Now, as many of you might know, I am first and foremost a free speech absolutist for various reasons that I have articulated before. So if you haven't heard that, go check out my previous body of work. But a lot of that comes down to one main reason. You see, it's this pursuit of truth and honesty, knowledge and wisdom again. And I just don't believe that we can have an honest world and thus not a world that is going to arrive at any valuable, genuine, resonating truths unless the voice of every living human being echoes in unison. Every single human being on this planet articulating and expressing themselves in whatever way they're capable of each second, each day, the, the common ensemble of all of these voices in unison are going to lead us towards actual tangible honesty and thus move us closer to any tangible truth. Any truth that is really going to be able to manifest itself, embellish itself, if you will. Anything that, then us will move us towards some sort of functional harmony. And yeah, a lot of people are going to be rather punching others, attacking others, smashing their heads into a stone wall rather than opening up their ears and actually listening, rather than actually just getting over themselves and say, you know what? We're all at a net loss unless we sit down and have a conversation, no matter how that conversation is going to sound like. Yeah, so it's just tough, Really think you know people and you've presented yourself and given off of yourself to an extent that they know you, and you find out that maybe you didn't know them or they didn't know you, or all that history you've built together doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, it's rough. It's disheartening and heartbreaking, but when you've started that road, you're already going down that path. You just have to keep going. More people will check out. Some will come along, but a lot of people will check out, and you'll find yourself lost and alone at times. But just know that even when you're lost and alone, and like you you're stuck in your own solitude, and there's no one by your side anywhere that you count on or feel at home with. Just know that it's a scary place. It's a cold place. It's a dark place. It's an okay place. You'll get used to coexisting with yourself while you're there. Eventually, provided that we manage to accomplish things and have conversations, then maybe more and more of us will manage to find voices that we can get along with or echo with and gradually move out of this place or these places for them. But till then, yeah, the world's going to be a challenge, especially cognitively, but in every other respect, because I'm no stranger to the fact that a lot of people struggle just establishing themselves and putting themselves in this world. Uh, until we get our asses to have these conversations, the quality of life and prospect and opportunity for all of those souls will not get any better. They'll be stuck in the limbo of uncertainty. That's one of the reasons for why I push this conversation, because we can keep pushing the ball and postponing it. We all know it's got to take place. We can keep postponing it for another 5 or 10 years. We're just going to lose another generation into a spiral of crime or drugs or nihilism or lack of purpose or point. Just really dark places, and they're going to fade off of the scene. And we're going to see more warfare, more deaths, more destruction, and there really is no point. Really is no point for that. Yeah, I am going to push the conversation because a lot of people have been pushing for the world to have a conversation for 5 years, for 10 years. Many of them lost hope and lost faith and don't believe that we can have a conversation. I'm not going to be that pessimistic. I still think we can talk. But we better start talking right now. Today. So if you have anything unresolved with someone, you're about to lay your head on the pillow and go to bed, reach out. Send them a message before you go to sleep. Don't leave anything unresolved that you can start working on.